Hey guys, welcome to arguably the biggest episode of the RTG with a youth academy so far. It's championship playoff final day. We got to this level relatively quickly after not getting promoted season 1 in League 2, just kind of establishing ourselves as a club. We then won League 2 season 2. Back-to-back promotions into the Championship via the League 1 title last year as well. This season has certainly been more of a challenge. However, our squad is growing nicely, but we still are nowhere near the two sides that were at the top of the table that just romped to 100+ points each in Leicester and Brentford. Not even close to their level. To be fair, with the gap being 11 points to today's playoff final opponents, West Brom, we're arguably not on their level either. 4 games won more for them. They drew 1 less and lost 3 less. Our goal difference was significantly worse than theirs as well. Goals conceded is effectively the same. There's only a 1 in it, but certainly they score more than we do. That said, we beat them 1-0 at home in the league and drew 2-2 at the Hawthorns in a game that was particularly difficult. I'm really apprehensive about this one because we know if we don't go up, we will be losing players like Salinas, Edwards, Ferreira and potentially Richardson again as well, although with him having just returned to the club this year, I might be more inclined to keep him than lose him, depending on which clubs it is that come in for him. If we get promoted, I would be very much inclined on keeping everybody at the club and only selling if it's one of the very top upper echelon of teams that come in. The best thing to do is to get promoted, isn't it? So we're going to go and play West Brom at Wembley. Oh, God, and pray that we get it done. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying the save. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on what else is to come. And please, in the comment section down below, let me know how you think we're going to get on. What is your pre-match prediction before heading to the end and potentially cheating? Don't do that. Comment in the comment section what you think is going to happen pre-game. I am going to say 3-2... AFC Chesnoid after a 2-2 full-time score at 90 minutes. I think we'll nick it in extra time. Maybe I don't think we'll nick it. I hope we'll nick it. I am slurping on that hopium to see if we can get ourselves up. Oh, man! This is the most nervous I've been for a game on FIFA for a little while. Oh, this could be a big turning point for the team. Let's go and get it done, shall we? Join me at Wembley. West Brom playing in their away kit. They were in the away dressing room, and obviously their home kit would be a clash with ours. Their side is Filip Stankovic in goal. 4 at the back. Furlong, Fry, O'Shea and De Kuiper. Playing a 4-2-3-1 effectively, with Gardner, Hickman and Gruezo sat holding. Pereira Lage left, Haraldson right, Ferreira at cam, and Carlin Grant up top. They were really tough to play against last time, and I don't recall the 2-2 draw being that easy to come by either. The biggest game of our time at AFC Chesnoid so far starts now. And inside to Gardner Hickman. Out wide to Haraldson. West Bromwich Albion kicked off, and they will be building first with their spell of possession. Furlong. Back to Gardner Hickman. Nice interception by Samaras, who scored a very good goal in the second leg against Norwich to ensure that we made it this far. He is a man that is more likely than most to get replaced in the starting lineup next, Samaras. But it's almost as if he heard me in the commentary in the first leg of the playoffs, because then he went and turned the hell up in the second legs, and I wonder whether he has more of an impact than perhaps I give him credit for in this team. Couldn't get an interception there. Gardner Hickman going for a worldie, but if we can keep West Bromwich Albion to shots of that nature, then I'd like to think that we'll be fine. Lovely ball into the path of De Kuiper. And West Brom on the attack again. They have started the brighter here, but a dodgy touch from both their man and mine lead to a West Brom corner. We're here in front of their fans. Of course, their stripes are vertical compared to our horizontal, so that's how you can tell the difference in the crowd, because I believe both sets of fans are wearing the home kit, the majority in the stand, as you can see behind there. Pereira Lage, though, with a secondary effort for West Brom here, and if he'd have got that on target, it probably would have gone in. I've tried to go long to Salinas a couple of times now. It's not worked. Let's change approach. Pereira Lage. Can I get to that? I can't. He's done brilliantly. West Brom are getting so close to taking the lead here. I changed approach with my last goal kick and then instantaneously lost bloody possession. West Brom are dominating these early stages, and it might be the nerves showing on my part. It might just be that West Brom are better than us. But we do have previous good results against them in the league. So we'll have to try and draw on that experience to get the job done here. Furlong again on the attack here for the Baggies. That hit Samaras's arm. It's going to fall still to Ferreira, and another effort off target. If they keep shooting wide, it doesn't matter how many chances they have. They won't score. Ferreira down the line to McDonald. Arguably the weakest link in this team. Ferreira, please be onside, is our highest rated player. And he just needs to find Salinas here. Oh, which he very nearly did. Samaras will bring that down. Edwards tackled, though, by Haraldson, who steps in brilliantly. Carlin Grant beats Mitch Bakker. The pass doesn't work, but still they come forward here, West Brom. Our first attempt to get forward nearly ends in a chance, but we are yet to test their man between the sticks, as they are mine. But that's not through a lack of effort from West Bromwich Albion. It's just from a lack of quality thus far. Carlin Grant, though, is yet to have a chance. So when he does, you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be on target. And it's probably got high odds of going in as well. Fleming had nothing to do so far, so he wants to stretch his legs. He's going to need the support. That isn't yet here. And, well, he's not going to find it either. Trying to get away here so that I can then switch the play to the other side of the pitch, because there wasn't much room there. You see that step as well. They're still pressing here, West Brom. Might not be a great idea. Salinas got the man out wide. Here is McDonald. There is the man at the back post. It's a teasing ball in, but it's just too close to Stankovic. 36 minutes play, 37 minutes now. We haven't clicked going forward yet, but when we do, we will be dangerous. Hopefully it'll happen now. I've got more men in the box again. I'll try and tuck it back on the floor, but McDonald seemingly forgot the ball there. That wasn't a shot from me. That was the tackle from the defender. Can you imagine if that had gone into the back of the net? Well, despite all of the chances being West Brom's way in that first half, shot accuracy, we are level with them. 0%. Not great from West Brom. XG of only 0.6 from those 4 efforts, and really, they should have done better with them. We can't rely on them being that wasteful for the full game. We're going to have to start stopping them being creative and start being creative ourselves. But after no opportunities at all, regardless of accuracy for us in that first 45 minutes, we really need to start turning up. And they are putting the pressure on me, as you can see. They're playing a high press and a hard press here at West Bromwich Albion. And it does make me nervous, especially with players of lower quality where you know there's a dodgy touch or pass in there somewhere waiting to bite you. Samaras with the ball out wide. If I can get it under control quickly, Pereira could have gotten it down the line. As it happens, it's our highest rated player that makes the first mistake. He was the man I would have counted on in that situation to get the ball down and get it down the line towards McDonald for a chance. Edwards is there. This is more like the sort of opportunity we've done well with this season. Tom Edwards, the next Gareth Bale. We've dubbed him. And he's not going to score the first goal of this playoff final as they make changes now. Early doors in this second half. Can Edwards turn provider? Nearly met it superbly, Samaras. But straight at the keeper. 2 shots for us on target, showing West Brom how to do it. Hopefully they don't learn from that and start doing it themselves. I am not confident in possession with Barry Knox. That is for damn sure. Nor Fleming, really, but his dribbling isn't bad. Salinas I am comfortable in possession with. That's not a great ball, though. I get lucky with Ferreira. He still doesn't get to it, though. Ferreira not having a brilliant game here on the right-hand side. It's the sort of game where you need your big players to step up. And if we don't end up going up on this evidence, I wouldn't really miss Ferreira that much. He's been solid this season, but I wouldn't go as far as to say he's letting me down so far, but he's definitely not doing himself any favours, is he? To be fair, if he plays like this here in a big pressure situation, I don't know as anyone really would take a look at him anyway. That's going to break for me. And Edwards is here. I will use Pereira first and then go to, or look to go to McDonald as he breaks in behind. And he's found, and he's got Salinas, but the pass is loose from both sides. Samaras to Fleming. Fleming lifting it. And it's Nacho. It's always Nacho. That is a finish of Premier League quality from our number 9. Not a sniff for him so far. But he smelt something and he dug a chance out. And what a finish to go with it too. A lot to do there with the first touch and the angle. But wow, what a goal. When the pressure is on, the big men step up. He's a big man. Grant. Oh, it's perfectly weighted over the top of the defender. Thomas Asante, Carlin Grant. Well, he's had a chance now. It's taken 70 minutes for their top goal scorer to actually have an effort. It took 65 minutes for my top goal scorer to have an effort. But mine went in, lads. Mine went in. Gardner Hickman. Oh, he's just got it down the line there to the Ferreira, who's struggling for stamina. Harrelson and Gruezo. 2! Richardson with a good save. Can Pereira get to that? Oh, he's earned us a corner. Sorry, he's earned us a goal kick. And not giving away the corner. But they are struggling for stamina now. That press for them is meaning that some of their players are starting to run out of buff. And if I can put some fresh legs on the pitch, then maybe we can take advantage of that as well. But with not much to call upon on the bench of any real quality, I don't know whether we'll do that. I'm going to move Edwards out wide for McDonald. I'm going to drop Salinas a bit deeper, as sometimes we do. And Big Kai came off the bench to seal it for us against Norwich in the semis. And I dare say if he can do it again in the playoff final at Wembley, he really will go down in AFC Chesnoid folklore. I think that's a bit hard. Oh! It is a bit harsh. John Swift sent. He's not been on the pitch long. I don't know whether he got near the ball there at all. He has gone through the back of him. I will be honest. When I played the pass with Mitch, it wasn't actually meant for McMillan. I was trying to play that just to Murphy, his centre-back partner. He's ended up playing it all the way across here to McMillan. Now, has John Swift got anywhere near the ball? It is from behind and rash. And he has caught him, on the back of the calf there with the effort as he comes in. Certainly, does he actually touch the ball? I imagine if he did, the referee wouldn't have given anything. He gets damned close to it, but no, does not. Do you feel that that's a red card? In this scenario, I think that's probably a strong yellow and a talking to saying anything else you do and you're gone. But I don't think that was worthy of a red card personally. Now, I want to see how long Swift had been on the pitch, because he might have just come on. He'd been on the field a minute. Literally, within 60 seconds, he's gotten himself sent off. Not really the impact the manager was hoping for. Fleming. Murphy. Forward into Salinas. Now, I could just try and see it out from here. But with them now being down to 10 men, surely we've got to try and take advantage of that. Looking for the ball through towards Edwards that can't be found. Advantage played in their favour as well for something. But then that is really poor. When you've not got enough men on the pitch, you've got to make sure your efforts are on target. Kai! Oh, no! That might have been the moment I gripped my controller so hard. Desperate for that to fly into the back of the net. Edwards with the delivery. Salinas could be the man underneath it. It's going to bounce to the edge of the box where Fleming's done brilliantly. Where is Kai? At the back post. That's nowhere near him. That's towards him, though. Kai! Oh, it's scuffed, but it was accurate at least. forcing the save from Stankovic, and at the very least as well, this is wasting time. Was that on target? Kai Konik nearly the hero once more. At the minute, hits his first team replacement, Salinas. That is the man that is sending us to the Premier League. Edwards with the delivery. Salinas is up again. For a second time, it won't reach him. Samaras, Murphy, space here for Fleming. Kai! Yes! Premier League! And it's Kai! And it's Kai! Premier League! We've done it! Scenes at Wembley. Salinas has been the man this season. Kai Konik has been the man this save. We got promoted from League 2 because of Kai Konik. We got promoted from League 1 because of Kai Konik. We are going to get promoted to the Premier League, in part, thanks to Kai Konik. I love you, mate. The relief is huge. After that first half and not having a single shot, I know I won't be the only one that was fearing the worst. There's no defenders back here. Where have they all gone? Kai! Oh, I nearly scored a third. He's offside. How can you be offside there? Oh my God. How the hell have West Brom let this happen? They were so on top in the first half and started the second half strongly too, but we just had to dig deep here and show a fantastic amount of resolve. And we will be in the Premier League next season. And I genuinely think that's the best thing for the save as well. If we'd have stayed in the Championship, we might have found ourselves becoming so good for that level with the progression of our players that by the time we got to the Prem, we were already a top half side. But as it happens, having gotten promoted this quickly, the side hasn't really followed the power curve of the sort of teams we'll be playing next year. If you look at the performances and results, most importantly, against teams like Leicester and Brentford that we had this season at Championship level, that are of the calibre we're going to be playing pretty much every week in the Premier League next year, we're not on that level. We genuinely aren't. And I am both apprehensive but also excited about a season in the Premier League that will be a genuine challenge for the first time in one of these long-term saves. A number of times when we've done long-term RTGs like this, we've just gone boom, 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 into the Premier League, top half, qualify for Europe, win the league. This isn't going to be like that. This is going to be more realistic and it's going to be a proper challenge. Now, I might well have to sell a couple of players because they will garner some interest, but we will be so bullish in the transfer window because these players have earned the right with this club to have the chance to perform at Premier League level in these colours. And I will be very, very anti-selling almost everybody that is in my starting 11. Unless it's the very, very best that come in for them, I don't think we should sell anyone. Equally, I'm not really going to actively look to sign anyone either, I don't think, at this stage. We have a number of young players coming through that can be the future generation of this team. And I have faith that what we already have at the club is enough to keep us in the Premier League. But we will be Premier League. Let's go and have a full season roundup, shall we? Once I've calmed down a bit and have a look at that next generation of youth talent we've got at the club. Maybe start to plan ahead about who we might need to move on, who we might need to send out on loan, and who we think might be the next star. We also need to improve our scouts, and by doing so now, with 5-star level scouts at Premier League level, I think you'll find we might start getting some of those £3-4 million worldies that we saw in the Southampton save in this one, and I'd be delighted with that. Genuinely, I think that's the best thing for the save as well. Whilst some might find it frustrating that we've gone promotion, 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 I like the fact that it wasn't title. I like the fact that it wasn't title, automatic promotion. I like the fact that we were a long way from those in the automatic promotion spots. And I like the fact that the side isn't ahead of the power curve for a promoted team. That is not a starting 11 that you would expect to stay in the Premier League. So we're going to be in a position where we're having a particularly tough season, and fingers crossed that will add to the entertainment value of the save. That's the plan. Right, I'm going to go and update all of the fan objectives, and then we'll advance towards the end of June, where all of the European games will have been played. All of the other finals that need to get played have been played. We can have a look at the final league tables as well as obviously having a look at our squad. Right then, let's see how things have transpired this year in this save. We've just scouted a couple of absolute potential belters as well, with the final youth scout reports from my remaining scouts that will be replaced by episode 1 of season 5 tomorrow. So here's how things went down for us, and of course we'll have a look and see what everything is going to look like for us in the Premier League next year, who we will and won't, crucially, be playing against also. So in the Championship, you know how the league table ended at the top end. That was pretty obvious. Relegated at the bottom end were Ipswich, Millwall and Barnsley. The FA Cup was won by Tottenham on penalties over Liverpool, and the Carabao Cup was won by Manchester City on penalties over Chelsea. Seems like ours was the only final that we'll have access to so far that wasn't won on pens. The UEFA Super Cup, Chelsea over Newcastle, intriguingly. Chelsea won the Champions League last year, Newcastle the Europa League. This year in the Champions League, it's a French side that beat an English side. Paris Saint-Germain win the Champions League. Roma win the Europa League. And in the Europa Conference League, Arsenal get a strong result against Freiburg, unfortunately for them. And in the World Cup that's ongoing, that's one group, that's the other, and the other, and the other. Mexico, Ghana and Northern Ireland for England. After a 2-2 draw with Ghana, England probably in a good position to go through. Italy, United States, Netherlands and Finland is a strong group. Spain, Austria, Australia, Ireland. Argentina's... Ooh, that's a tough group. I don't know as I spied a group of death really there, though. Croatia, Morocco, Brazil, Norway. Morocco are obviously pretty decent, as we saw from the most recent World Cup. I don't know, as there is a group of death there. That's probably the strongest one, isn't it? Croatia, Morocco, Brazil, Norway. Let's have a look and see then what happened in the other leagues around the grounds as well, around Europe. Salinas was top goal scorer in the Championship for us this year. You've seen this screen a few times before. Only just pipping Rodri and Immobile of Leicester and Brentford. They were right hot on Salinas' heels this year, but I'm tempted to give him golden boots next year because he was genuinely that frigging good. And he got 15 assists as well. What a player. Richardson got the golden glove as well, so it's a clean sweep for AFC Chesnoid players, whilst obviously we didn't win or even get automatic promotion this year. In the Premier League, Liverpool win the league from Arsenal, Manchester City and Chelsea. Spurs and Man United in 5th and 6th respectively. We will not be playing Watford, Bournemouth or Wolves. So when the time comes, I'll have to have a think about what our... Well, no, Nottingham Forest are there. Well, that's our local derby then, isn't it? Nottingham Forest are our local derby for the Premier League next season. And Leicester are right near us as well, to be fair. So that's not far away either. League 1 is won by Sunderland and Plymouth Argyle also get automatic promotion. MK Dons, Bolton, Oxford and Blackpool also up. Cambridge survive. Northampton, Doncaster Rovers, Port Vale and Lincoln go down. League 2, Wigan, Bristol Rovers and Salford automatically up. Swindon, Stockport, Wimbledon and Crawley in the playoffs. And down to the National League, we're in the game. Sutton on 43 points and Gillingham on 41. Grimsby also had 49 points, as well as Newport County there. You can't quite see behind me there, can you? In League, it's Lyon from Monaco. PSG only 4th there. That's the first time that's happened, for sure. In the Bundesliga, Bayern from Borussia by 2 points. In Serie A, it's Milan from Inter by 4 points. Juve third, Napoli fourth. Although Roma won the Europa League, so they'll be in the Champions League next year despite finishing sixth. In the Liga Portuguesa, it's Porto. In the SPL, it's Celtic from Rangers by 10. And in La Liga, it's Real Madrid by a long way, having lost only one game. 17 points clear of Atleti, 21 points clear of a poor Barcelona side. Right. Our squad and our doings as a manager with regards to board objectives that the in-game board have set for us. We're at 83 manager popularity. We got both the short-term youth development ones. We won't be getting that long-term one, unfortunately, but not to worry. Did both the brand exposure. I'm not going to finish the season without any unspent transfer budget, so that won't get ticked, but we ticked one of the two with domestic success, and having gotten promotion, the board are happy with us, certainly. With regards to fan objectives this year, we achieved 2 of the 6. We got very close to having 11 nationalities in the starting lineup, and we would have done it had Novak not gotten injured. But unfortunately, it is what it is. Matt Dorr, his one was nearly done. Wow, nearly done. We didn't actually have that many goal scorers this season. 6 positions were scored from in the starting lineup, and quite frankly, only I think 7 players scored goals this year. We got the streak. Kai Connick had a streak of 6. Tom Edwards had a streak of 2, but Salinas was the man of the moment, wasn't he? 6 in a row for him. We only kept 6 clean sheets in all competitions, all sold this season. Actually, that's 7. It hasn't auto-updated from when I saved it on my Photoshop, which is annoying. If I do this, I could have sworn I saved it. It's not going to update. Okay, fair enough. Screw you, Photoshop and OBS. We did actually have 7 of... Oh, no, there you go. It has finally updated. 7 of 10 of Maldini's, but we didn't do it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yes, we were the highest placed of all promoted teams last year, and we were frustrated with our scouts, of course. The £1-2 million man. Other than that, that was it. We're praying that 5-star scouts next season, which we'll upgrade to on all fronts, will give us some worldy talents. That is the plan. With regards to the squad that are currently here then, the players in my squad hub as it stands. Obviously Richardson will start next year. Obviously Houghton will be backup. Left back, I have Knox. Right back, Ferreira. McMillan is my backup. I'm not needing a massive amount of depth in my current squad because we're only going to have Premier League games and Cup games. We've not got any European factors in there at the moment. Mitch Backer's still going to start at centre-back. Murphy's still going to start alongside him. Mitch peaked currently, but hopefully next season dynamic potential will kick in for a number of those players that are peaked at such a young age, and they will continue to grow. Gibbons at 69 is decent. We do have a potential young centre-back in the youth academy that could come up and be part of the gang as well. Maxwell hasn't really grown that well at Başakşehir, which is a shame. I'm actually quite disappointed at that. We will send him back out on loan again next year. Cooper is loan listed, but nobody's come in from yet. But he has grown by 5 this year, so promising potential for him maybe at just 16 years of age. Rob Hutchison, I am tempted to let go. At 18, he's grown by 5 this year, but I don't know. Lavery, of course, we're using as a backup centre mid, CDM, and centre back. So he covers a lot of bases. Up another 3 this year. And obviously not peaked either. Fleming's been good out on the wing. 2 goals, 6 assists. Although, 4 assists in 3 championship playoff games. Just as we praised Salinas and Kai Connick for the goals, we should be praising Alex Fleming for stepping up with assists as well. That is a fantastic return from him. And maybe next year as we step up again, he might hold that starting lineup then, because he's not peaked yet at all. Bustamante will be starting lineup next year, as will Samaras. Acuna's going to go back to Boca Juniors. Castro backup. Mayer going out on loan. He has potential to be special. Jenkins, Up 5 this year. We'll probably need to have another year out on loan to stand a chance of coming anywhere near my starting lineup, but he's got good potential and should continue to grow. Pearson, I'm unsure about. Only up 2 to 68. We've got better options elsewhere in the squad, so I might sell him next year. I'm going to make a note of that here on my whiteboard in front of me. Pearson, sell. That one is a definitive decision we've made there. Anyone I don't know will go out on loan. Maxime Walters just had an approach for him from Besiktas here. He was our £2 million scout, or not scout future star, £2 million prospect that hopefully will go out on loan next year to Besiktas here in Turkey for a year. Novak will be back fit for next season. He will start at cam. And Edwards will move from cam to the right-hand side of midfield. Potentially to the left, depending on what we do with Fleming and McCloskey. I think they'll both be rotation wingers. Clark up 3 this year, Patrick Clark, but I didn't enjoy him too much, nor did I get much out of him. So I think Clark will be a loan, but maybe a sell. McDonald, I think I'd like to sell McDonald, but with him up 5 this year, that leads me to believe he's probably going to grow a little bit more next year. We are training him as a winger. Once that is complete, maybe we concentrate on his finishing and his dribbling, ball control most importantly, and maybe he might have a part to play. I'll let you guys have the call on that one. I think Clark, though, I'll add to the transfer list. Did I add Pearson? I can't add Pearson to the transfer list, but Clark I've done, so I won't need to make a note of that. McCloskey was 70, nearly 71 rated, and did certainly impress when he came in. 1 goal, 1 assist in 6 games with a high average rating. I did like him. He'll have to grow again, but certainly in the first team picture. Rory Kennedy, as he peaked, he hasn't, but again, he's first team picture, but with other players like McCloskey and potentially McDonald, and with Edwards an option out wide as well, I think Kennedy's time at the squad might come to an end and we'll look to sell Rory. I apologise, Rory, you've been a great servant, but we don't have space nor time for sentiment, I'm afraid. Tom Edwards, obviously you guys know how fantastic he is. He will start out wide for us next year as we'll move Novak into that cam spot. Lions, I've not really had the chance to use him. Physically, he looks very good. Technically, he's all right. Maybe another loan spell for him. He's grown by 6 this year. If he grows by 6 next year, then certainly he'll be part of the picture, won't he? McLean is rubbish. So McLean is going to be sold. Even though he's grown well and he's quick, we have better options. Again, there is no room for sentiment. And I do need to be ruthless as well with some of these players. Park is leaving us. Kai has peaked, but he's the only player I will show sentiment for at present. Up 1. Gavin Young is leaving us as well. Adam Roach will go out on loan again. Physically looks decent. Technically certainly needs some improvement, but we'll wait and see what happens. Now, Salinas has peaked up 6 at 76. But again, I hope that dynamic potential will kick in for him and he might be able to grow again next year. So 31 goals and 16 assists for him. Rather evident that he was the standout star. Tom Edwards in a second starring role. And Kai got 10 in the league. He might not do quite so well at Premier League level, but he will have a go. He will have a go. And yet, only 7 people scored a goal for the club this year, which is remarkable considering how strong a year we had. But only 3 scored more than 3. Samaras with 3 in 4th, and Fleming with 2 and 6 assists, and then Bakker with 1 and McCloskey with 1 as well. Assist-wise, it's pretty much as it was there as well, to be fair. Fleming just bumps Bustamante and Kai Connick on that front. Bustamante actually 4 assists in 17 games is decent, having been bled in to the side in January. We've gotten assists from more people, but not yet got the goals from a number of players. I'm intrigued to see what happens next year with those that were peaked. Hopefully, dynamic potential kicks in. So those in the youth setup. At the minute, Alexis Roy stands out as the next man to make the step up. And he is partially the reason why I'm letting some of those other players go, because you can see the potential he has, and at 15 he's going to continue to grow before we call him up as well. So that's a no-brainer. The other no-brainer is Flavio Rocha. 88 to 94 potential. I mean, come on. He will be called up at the beginning of the next season and loaned out. The others will have a chance to continue to grow. Ethan Martin is a player that we've just brought up. He's evidently a wide man as well, although physically not too impressive, but technically evidently a wide man with high crossing and curve. So I'm not sure what his future looks like. And Elliot Wilson is another one we've called up. He too, we're training at cam, but again, better options elsewhere in the squad. Maybe Rocha ends up being a cam as well, although crossing is one of his stronger options. And Alexis Roy is so well-rounded, he could play on the left, on the right, at centre mid or at cam. So I'm quite excited about Alexis Roy, actually. That is how our squad looks, effectively then. And we've got one more scout report to come back, do I? I think actually, no. Nordal is out scouting still, because he came in later. But Gabriel Oliver is going to be fired, and we'll hire a 5-star, 5-star, or at least a 5-star, 4-star. And we'll also be firing, unfortunately, Michaelis Costi, and we'll hire a 5-star, 5-star, or a 5-star, 4-star. Dario Lovrich, welcome in, sir. We will send those guys out on loan as soon as we get into the new season, so that the reports come back at the beginning of the month, each month, which will help for getting something into each episode. And from there, I can show you guys the Patreon players who have been growing phenomenally well continually. So, Jordan is 84 rated at Lille. James Ambrose 83, Will Hillier also 83, who we will more than likely come up against in the Premier League next year at Newcastle, you would have thought. Rob earned a move this year from Daegu in Korea to FC Köln in Germany. I'll be intrigued to see how many players make moves at the summer window next season as well. Connor, 80 rated at Marseille. Still Tommy Wallace, 81 at Millwall. Cardoso is a player I've got on my shortlist that might be a go-to if we find ourselves needing to buy a centre-back. But actually, I swear I might have called... Did I call him up? I might have called him up. I'm just going to check this for my own sanity. Yeah, Lopez is a centre-forward who we are retraining as centre-back, because rather evidently, he's a centre-back, not a centre-forward. So he's one that could grow quite well, but I'm going to leave him there just so I can see, even though he's old, I'm going to leave him there just so I can see where that potential window narrows, and we'll see if he's actually going to be any good longer term or not. Anyway, where were we? Sidetracked. Apologies. Nick is at Karagumruk still. Dylan is 79 rated at Liverpool. We may come up against him at some point next season. Craig still at CFR Cluj. 78 rated. Daniel is at Valencia. Scott at West Ham. Will surely come up against him next year in the Premier League. Tom Whiteley came up against him a couple of times when we were playing in the lower leagues against Wimbledon. He's now 83 rated. Dawson Minton, 83 out at Braga. Millwood, Jordan, 81 at Schalke. Brandon at Watford. I can't remember where Watford are. I think Watford are Premier League. Surely they're Premier League. Did they get relegated? They might have gotten relegated. I'll have to have a double check. But Brandon's still at Watford here in this save. Liam at Doncaster, still 83 rated. AJ at Sheffield United, who were our division and didn't make the playoffs, I think. Memory serves. Daz at Brighton, 83 rated. We may well come up against next year. Similarly, Manu at Leeds. Kyle is at LAFC. Ended up at LAFC in both save, unfortunately for him. Ferenc Puskas at Bilbao. Jack Wimpenny at Real Sociedad. The strikers are the higher rated players here. Matthew Davison at 85 at Marseille. Teammate, of course, of Connor Wathen. And Jack Wimpenny, teammate of James Ambrose at Real Sociedad. Aiden is our highest rated player on the Patreon at 86. And you're guaranteed that we're going to be coming up against him in the Premier League next year. Colin at 81 is still at Konyaspor, and Barnes Cutter at 84 might be involved at Chelsea, although Chelsea are probably the sort of club that would have players that are higher rated, but we'll wait and see. But that is where we are at the end of Season 4, and we know where we'll be at the beginning of Season 5. That was bloody nervous, though, in that playoff final. And at half-time, the old ticker was going, and I couldn't have guaranteed what was going to happen in the second half. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you'll be with me for Season 5. Join me in the Premier League for what undoubtedly is going to be a challenging season. I'll see you next year.